Hello and welcome to Sovereign RPG. I'm Sovereign and today we're going to be looking at V Rising once again. There's been a dev update with some cool information to go over. Some optimization of systems, some new mount changes to the starting zones themselves, a teleportation system that's been added, and a closed beta update that's going to be coming very soon. Lots of exciting stuff to go over. Now I will leave a link for wishlisting V Rising on Steam, their newsletter subscription, link to their Discord server, their new TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram will all be in the description if you'd like to follow and support the game. Now remember, if you do enjoy my videos, make sure to throw up a like. It does really help the video get out there. And if you'd like to see more survival gaming and RPG content, make sure to subscribe. And we do have a Patreon in the description if you'd like to support myself and the channel. So let's get into this update. Now we're going to start off with the Creatures of Vardara, which is the name of the world that the game is actually set around. And for them to work in a better atmosphere when you're actually playing the game itself, they've started to sort of add in a little bit of atmosphere with various critters around and the way that they react, and also ways to actually not allow for the amount of critters that are going to be going around the map when you're running around to actually adversely affect the performance of lower end computers. Now when I'm playing RPGs and I'm playing games that revolve around immersing yourself into a world, having the little things like critters running about and different sort of aesthetics in the background, some mood music, a little bit of mist here and there to make areas feel more lived in is always a massive bonus. And they have talked about this in two parts. Now the technical artist Philippa is currently working on different systems for creepy little critters that are actually going to be populating the world, and they're doing sort of estimated simulations of what you might expect to be scurrying around in the forests, in the cities, towns, birds and bats. Now they're working on systems that will actually affect the critters and their behaviors. For instance, like an example that was given on the dev blog was you running towards a flock of crows and those crows dispersing in different directions as you're walking up to them. Now when you have lots of little things like this running around on the map and they're all being spawned at the same time, you can have heavy issues with a lot of lower end computers and a lot of optimization issues with the game itself. So the second part they're working on is actually when and where to actually spawn them. So what they're going to do in this instance, and I don't know whether this is going to be a good or bad thing, is actually only have these critters spawning in and around you. So there's not always loading in and spawning all these critters around and causing performance issues within the game itself. They'll only be popping in when you're getting close, and then you'll be able to interact with them. If you stay away from them, they'll just sit around and they'll do their own business. They'll make their noises and do their little animations and stuff. And if you get too close, they will start running off in all different directions. For me personally, I love my immersion in RPGs, and if they have this sort of thing in there, it really does help towards that immersion itself. Now the next thing they're talking about is mounts. Now the first iteration of mounts in V Rising was just basic. Every horse was the same, and you always had it didn't really matter. It didn't really feel like the horses themselves had any meaning. They were very easy to come by. They were all over the place and they all had the same stat. So what the team have done, they've decided to actually add systems in place to make horses more interesting. And one way that they're actually doing this to make them sort of unique and make you sort of, like for me, when I was playing Myth of Empires, I really loved getting the horse, and I had my favorite horse, and then if I found another horse with decent stats, then I breed those horses together, etc, etc. But you always have your favorite horse. So what they've done inside of V Rising is actually give them randomized quality. There'll be differences in movement, speed, rotation and acceleration. So some will feel better to ride than others. Some might have better turning angles. Some might sprint a lot faster in a straight line. Some might have faster top end speeds, and if you can get the holy grail of having a fast top end speed with a high acceleration and great rotation for your quicker turning angles, then you'll have a really, really good horse, and you're going to want to have to keep them and name them and have the good time. So they've also added at the top, they're going to be storage space on horses, so you can actually put loads of gear on your horses and make it easier to move large amounts of stuff from place to place, which wasn't originally in the actual game itself. So during the previous closed beta, the producer Max Tilakainen, I hope I pronounced that completely right and didn't ruin it, received a lot of valuable feedback and data with the actual beta itself, and the areas and the maps sort of were built in a chunk system. So it wasn't one seamless area. There was little bits where you'd have a little bit of an issue going over one place to another. So what they've done is actually moved all of those chunks together and fused them, making the terrain more technically cohesive and lets them blend the spaces to fit more naturally together and frees them up from some of the technical limitations. And they are doing a lot of refining and zones for building, making it easier and more intuitive to find places to place and expand your castle without running into awkward terrain. They've also done further iterations of the starter zones, and Max and the world team are going over Farbane Forest with a fine-tooth comb and looking for more places to really enforce that theme and making sure that you really do get that dark fantasy experience that the game is offering. So let's move on to some mechanics and some new things that they've added to the game and some things that they're putting more work into and working on. And one of these is actually Blood Trail. Now, these are an effect that you would follow from your blood altar to hunt down the blood-rich foes and follow the scent of the scarlet blood to close in on your prey. And you'll be able to follow this, and there'll be text updates in the bottom there. I'll probably put the screenshot up on the video here, so you'll be able to see that, and it will start to let you know when your prey is close, when you're going to be running up taking their blood to make your abilities stronger. They've also done a lot of stuff with the sword ability kit, and a lot of the visual effects have been updated and reworked and changed to make them look better. There's a sword technique over here I'll put up on the screen for you. And there is a new system in place with bats, and it's going to be teleporting to get around. So instead of actually going in and just jumping through a teleporter, the developers have actually designed the system to where that you will turn into, in specific areas, you go to these sort of altars and you'll stand there and you'll turn into a bat form, and this will be your traveling fast travel function, which I think is actually pretty damn cool. Now, the devs are putting out a bit of a competition for some artwork, so there will be an art contest with more information coming soon. If you fancy doing a little bit of drawing, doing a little bit of artwork on your PC, then make sure to look out for that. There'll probably be an update for that on their website. Again, the link for that will be in the description. They have the closed beta update. So the official closed beta testing will start at the end of March, and they're going to be welcoming a whole new bunch of people. So again, if you really do want to try this game out, make sure to sign up on the website for the beta and the newsletter to get updated on the game itself. I'm definitely signing up for this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get into it, but I'm hoping that I will, because I'm really looking forward to this game. This is one of my top games for this year that's going to be coming out. I really just love the way the game looks. Now, lastly, they do have a TikTok that they've just opened up. I'm not a personal fan of TikTok, but if anyone here actually takes a gander at any of the world of TikTok, then that is there. A link for that will be in the description as well. And that's all we have for today's update on V Rising. I hope you found it informative. Make sure to throw up a like if you do enjoy my videos. Make sure to subscribe for more survival and RPG gaming. And we do have a Patreon in the description if you'd like to support myself and the channel. I want to thank you all for watching. Fly safe and avoid local chats.